Mowat-Wilson syndrome is characterized by intellectual disability in association with variable involvement of other organs and systems, such as the heart, the bowel, Hirschsprung disease, hypospadias in males, kidneys, and eyes. MWS is caused by variants in the ZEB2 gene. This genetic condition was described in 1998 by Drs. David Mowat and Meredith Wilson.
So of course back in 1998 we didn't know about this condition, and so how common it was really unclear.
We were able to get a rough estimate that we thought that probably about 1 in 60,000 people would be born with Mowat-Wilson syndrome.
Since diagnosing Mowat-Wilson syndrome can be difficult due to its rarity, oftentimes parents are critical in helping to identify Mowat-Wilson syndrome in their children.
Getting a diagnosis for Logan was a bit of a challenge, a journey for us. After he was born, we started to notice some delays. He wasn't quite meeting milestones that we thought he should be reaching. And one night my husband actually just typed in some of his characteristics, some of his facial features, and we were brought to a website of other children with Mowat-Wilson syndrome, and there was a slideshow with their faces, and they all could have been Logan's siblings. So we took that information and actually went to a geneticist and asked if he could be tested for that. And a few months later, it was confirmed that Logan had Mowat-Wilson syndrome.
Though everyone is a bit different, MWS patients present with multiple clinical manifestations that might include moderate to severe intellectual disability, a very similar collection of distinctive facial features, epilepsy, which may come on from several months of age to some years of age and can be a major feature, Hirschsprung disease, congenital heart disease, differences in genitalia, kidney abnormalities, differences in brain MRI, and short stature.
There is no easy answer to this question. It's mostly based on, I suppose, the association of associated medical problems. So there's no doubt children and young people with significant intellectual disability are at risk just by the nature of that finding.
Each person is different and needs an assessment. There is something very noticeable about what seems to be the personality of people with Mowat-Wilson syndrome, parents, and we've noticed this too, that these children tend to be very smiley, apparently very happy, quite animated, really social, really love interacting with people. So there is this impression of happiness and real and enjoyment in company.
It's amazing that after 11 years and really not hearing Logan ever speak, we've been able to communicate. I still know his needs and his wants, and fortunately he's progressed to using some adaptive technology at school and at home through the use of an iPad. And so that's really given him some freedom and taken a little frustration away, that he now has a way to communicate with us. This seems we've found that many of the children with Mowat-Wilson syndrome love books. They just love flipping pages, whether it's magazines, books. I'm not sure where on the genetic sequence that is, but this is something they all really seem to enjoy.
Having an active management plan is helpful for those working with MWS diagnosed patients. These plans provide guidance on handling different situations, things to be aware of, and clues to look out for, as well as sharing defined protocols for each individual's unique needs.
Children with Mowat-Wilson syndrome have high needs because of their intellectual disability, plus or minus the other physical complications that they may or may not have. So for all children, we strongly believe that there needs to be a management team, and that management team needs to be headed by somebody and who will take a long-term view and help make sure that things are happening. In many cases that might be a managing paediatrician or a developmental paediatrician, if such a thing exists in your particular area, with a team of therapists. particularly for the intellectual disability side of things. So occupational, speech or feeding therapists, physiotherapists, working together. Specialists in communication are often very, very valued by families.
Having a team for Logan has been essential. We found a great pediatrician at a very young age, and she's been a great advocate for Logan. She's brought in a wonderful neurologist, a GI doctor. We've got HPT, OT, and wonderful teachers on our team. And I think that's made a huge difference in the progress that Logan was able to achieve.
Many children diagnosed with MWS lead active lives. They go to school, interact with others, and are involved in everyday activities.
Logan loves school. I think he would be at school 7 days a week if he was allowed. He is in a severe and profound classroom, and he goes to other classes during the day to interact with typical kids. But for all of his academic things, he is in the resource classroom, and he has access to technology that's developmentally appropriate for him. And all of these things have just made all the difference and made him want to go to school every day and progress and learn and be successful.
As a person who may interact with someone with MWS, here are some things to be aware of.
Treat Logan like any other kid in the sense of he understands a lot of what you're telling him. While he might not be able to express that back to you, he understands and gets the feeling, the warmth. If you're a positive person and you want to engage with him, he picks up on that, and he immediately is drawn to people that want to be around him. So I think it's really just about not being afraid of kids that are different, and just taking an interest, pick up on what they enjoy doing. Grab that book off the shelf, grab the ball and toss it to him. Don't be afraid of hurting him. He's just like any kid in that sense.
To learn more about Mowat-Wilson syndrome, visit us at www.mowat-wilson.org.